We are so happy you're here, Reverend Angela Davis and I. My name is Shanti. And we're just so grateful you're here today. Thank you for coming. Before we begin, as we know, we're going to make sure we have our cell phones turned off or on silent, please. Sometimes we forget. Thank you so much for doing that. And now, if you will, please open your hymnal to the front, to the Unity Statement of Being. And together we will say, there is one presence and one power in this church, in our lives, and in the universe.
take a very deep, nourishing breath of joy, of love, of peace, of harmony. And just let your mind quiet and become aware of your thoughts. For your thoughts are the presence of God within you. Consciously focus on your breathing. Taking an inhale and affirming God is. Exhaling. Affirm I am. Breathing in, God is. Breathing out, I am. Get really comfortable in this divine breath. For with each breath, we are more relaxed, peaceful, and filled with the joy and goodness of all that is. Watch tension and stress dissipate. And in its place, only the peace, joy, and the divine love of all that God is within you. Allow this very presence to saturate your entire being. There is no place where it is not in our entire being. Feel yourself getting comfortable as you settle in to this divine presence that is always who we are. Deepen into it and allow it to deepen into you, into your life, into all that your life covers. See that no matter where you go or what you're doing, it is always wherever you are. There is never a moment when we are ever alone. We are always one. Breathing in, breathing out. God is, I am. I'm so grateful, for I know that God is, and there's nothing out of place, there's no need, and there's nothing that God cannot do. I am the greater part of my divine self, and allow every outer condition and every circumstance that concerns us fall into this truth. And it lands square. Any illness finds its way out. Any thoughts of lack breathing our very beings. We breathe in, God is. We breathe out, I am. Poised in the Christ mind. We stay here for the next few moments of silence. Breathing in, I am. Breathing out, God is. We return to this present place, knowing that our thoughts are good, filled with the presence of Christ, penetrates our entire world, our lives, our community, and all that concerns us. And we truly know all is well. And so it is. Amen.
If you will please stand and turn to number 356.
that is wonderful to hear. The topic today is what has not been revealed. You know, there's a lot that hasn't been revealed. And I know the last 2 times I was here, I shared a lot of new information with many of you. But today, I want to talk more about our prayer work and what's left to be revealed to us, because there's so much, even in our prayer work, that we can take on and make use of. How could we ever be separated outside of the presence of God? Truth is, we can't. We are standing, breathing, living in it, because we are already living in this presence, already held in this divine atmosphere, already breathing the life that never leaves us. We don't practice pulling God down from somewhere. Our practice becomes just to be still enough to realize the presence is there even before we ask it to come and be in our midst. It's already in our midst. There's never a time when it doesn't leave us. Inside this divine presence, we live, move, and have our being, and it is inside us, living and moving and having its being. Indeed, Romans 8:38 and 39 says, I am convinced that neither death or life or anything else can separate us from the love of God. So I look for signs everywhere I go. Not that God is outside me, but I know that God is always talking to me, no matter where I am or what's going on in my life. So when I'm driving on the highway or sitting in some random place, overhearing a stranger or seeing a couple or some parents with their little ones, I'm reminded, hey, they are an example of the divine in action in the lives of those people that they're touching. And so are all of us. We too are an example of that divine in all the lives that we touch, and we are embraced by that truth before it ever arrives. How many of you ever just had a thought pop into your head, and then made you think about another thought, and then suddenly your thoughts are off and running, and I truly hope in a wonderful way, because we are always standing inside of something larger than we can ever conceive. And I want you to particularly remember that when you have issues in your life. Now, nobody in here has issues, right? We don't have to force ourselves to believe or even to drag God into the room with us saying, okay, God, fix this. No. Send God ahead of you, preparing your way, making it straight, making it clear, making sure that you hear the things that you ought to be hearing and ought to be knowing. You will be amazed at the information that comes to you seemingly out of the blue. You'll be standing in the grocery store and someone will say something, oh, I'm so glad I heard that. Because God's message goes out to each and every one of us. And then there's something more. God's message comes from inside of us out into the world, to those that we meet. And it doesn't have to be some large, grandiose statement. It could be something as simple as, you are loved today, or God loves you. And you don't even have to use the word God if you don't want to. You can use whatever tone of voice that you use, just as long as it is the loving voice of that divine presence in you. Because you are meeting and greeting God wherever you go. Now that might be strange for some of you to hear. But ever since I got into unity, it made plenty sense to me, especially when it says, that God breathes us. The very first thing that we encounter when we have life is breath. Sitting in the essence of the divine presence is something we do unawares. We're not even realizing sometimes that divine presence is with us in every moment. And that's okay, because divine presence doesn't mind. It accepts us just as we are. Have you noticed? And if you're doing that, sitting in the divine presence for 10 or 15 minutes at night, you're participating in something very sacred and very holy, even more than you might even realize. And I'm going to go back to this woman. I'm going to go back to San Francisco in 1906. There was a woman there, and she had been raised in unity, and she learned as a child that Jesus loves the little children, and so she always believed that Jesus was around her. And so as she got older, and she learned the ways of sitting in the silence, like Charles Fillmore taught, for 10 to 15 minutes every night, and 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, using a Bible verse, or using a word that just reminded him of that divine presence. She did that. And one of the most amazing things that happens if you do that every single night, sometimes that divine presence visits you in your sleep. Now, I just want to know, how many of you have experienced extraordinary dreams as a result of that? You're doing the right thing. Because not only will you be having divine dreams, you'll get messages about things to do in your life, and they may not make sense to anybody else. They may not even make sense to you, but as you start to live it, it begins to make understandable, complete sense. Like for this lady, she went to sleep. And while she was sleeping this night in 1906 in San Francisco, she started dreaming about these camels that came out of nowhere. And she went up to them, they were so real, she began touching the hairs on their bodies as they passed by her. And then she happened to see Jesus leading the procession, sitting on the head camel. So she hung her head, and she said, I'm dreaming. That's not Jesus. But a voice told her, no, you are not dreaming, you are wide awake. And she said, no, this is a dream. She could even see the dust in the air flying up from the camels. The procession stopped, and she was able to actually stroke one of the camel's hairs. And she was looking at the dust, and something told her to look up, and she was looking right into Jesus' face. And there she was standing. She quickly bowed her head. And for some reason, she started crying because this seemed kind of unreal. Hey, Jesus was right there with her. And he spoke to her. He said, Anna, why are you crying? She said, I think the world is coming to an end, and I'm really afraid. Jesus said, tell me why you're afraid. Because I haven't been that good. I think you've been very good, Jesus told her. Because you have been as good as you knew how. She said, but it doesn't stop me from thinking the world is coming to an end. He said, no. But there is a terrible disaster that's going to happen in San Francisco. And I want you to leave the city tomorrow morning. She said, well, is the city going to be destroyed? And Jesus said, no, but you must leave the city. I will lead you. And she woke up. She knew what that meant. She started packing. She packed all her things and she put them in the basement. And then she went to her landlord to give her notice. The landlord told her, you don't want to move because of a stupid old dream. You're going to be right back here in the morning, glad to be home. She didn't listen to him. She packed her stuff and she went across the bay to Oakland. And she started house hunting with an agent. And she kept thinking, the master's going to lead me. I don't know where I'm going to go. But she continued house hunting, and he told her one of the houses that she saw, she could buy it. And she only had to put $50 down. It's 1906. It was all the money she had, but she put it down on that house. And then she went to get her things in San Francisco, and the minute she tried to get on the bus, but on the train, she couldn't. It was like she was frozen in place. So she went to her friend's house, and she stayed the night. She told her friend the dream, and the dream said, "Oh, you're crazy to be paying any attention to that." She wanted somebody to believe her, and she just felt lonely. So she went to bed early, and she woke up at 9 o'clock the next morning. Everybody thinks I'm crazy for believing a dream. I'm going to go back to San Francisco. She was starting to doubt her own mind. But remember, Christ told her he was going to lead her. She got dressed, she put on her hat, and again, she couldn't move. She couldn't even leave the house. So she went back to bed. When she got up later, she hadn't been up 5 minutes before the earthquake started. And she looked out the window. And she was shocked to see that right in front of her friend's house was that same path that the camels had come down, that Christ had been on. The earthquake came and even tipped the house that she was in, pinning her in her room. But she was rescued, and she wasn't hurt at all. Her friend Elizabeth was dazed, and across the bay, all she could see was San Francisco in flames. Later, when she could, she went back to the house that she had purchased, and she slept on the floor. And then she remembered that she was wearing a diamond pin with a row of diamonds on it, and she decided she was going to go to the furniture store the next morning, and she was going to exchange it for furniture for her house. And she felt like her faith was working so well because the earthquake had come true. And as the earthquake had come true, so was the fact that when she got in the store and the salesman saw her, she said, "Well, look, I got this diamond pin. I want you to hold it until I bring you the money back to buy all my stuff." He said, "I'm not worried about that." He said, "You got the kind of face. I know you're going to pay your debt. Don't worry about it. Fill your house up from top to bottom." And she didn't have to pay for anything for 3 months, not even a note on the house, while San Francisco was recovering. She always kept one room empty in her house for anybody who needed shelter. And it was almost always occupied. And her old house, the one that she left, it was completely destroyed. So I say all of that to say this to you. You have the greatest mind already built for being in touch with the Creator in ways that you may not even have known of. Make your mind available to the Creator because it knows all things about you and knows them intimately, can tell you things. Sit and commune in its presence as often as you can, and whatever you need, it will be made known to you. Because God has all kinds of ways to get our attention and to help us pay attention when it's most important. God's light shines not only in us, but for us so fully. How do you know this? The last time I left here, I was driving home. It's about 5 hours away. And I saw this huge sign that said, "Open now." It was like a big message to my own mind. Open now. What does that mean? What does it mean to you? Open now. What is it you want to ask God now? What is it you want to know right now? Well, that's what I thought about. And so I did it. And then I got answers. And then a little while later, got my attention, the same way things get your attention. Notice what comes to your mind, because you never know what information you're getting too. Was I worried? No, because I know God always has a plan for our lives. I know God always has a plan for your lives. So no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, remember, you have that power right there available to you in every moment. The last time I was here, I mentioned cicadas to you, and I'm going to bring cicadas up to you again. I explained last time how it opened up a quadrant of my mind, the part that I call the unknown quadrant. And I told you that all you needed to do was ask the right questions to be able to access the information you need. Don't forget to ask Christ, what are the questions I need to ask to be able to understand better, deeper, what it is I need to know? Well, it turns out cicadas, their bodies are complete instruments. They stay in the ground, buried in the roots for 99% of their lives. They're down in the trees, dependent upon the soil. They don't get a lot of food to eat, but God already supplies more than enough food for them. Scientists have no idea when they are scheduled to even come out. When I say 99% of their lives they're down underneath the ground, God made them so only they know what time they're supposed to come out. And when they come out to sing. I like to think that they're singing the praises of God. They come out because that's what their bodies are made for. It's shaped like an instrument. What are our bodies shaped like? Well, we're told they're made in the likeness and image of God. So that means our bodies are made for thinking like God. That means our minds are made for greater things that we likely haven't even thought about, likely haven't even pondered. So, what's a thought that you might want to know more about? And it might gather in your own mind, or you might be led in some way. But I want to take you to the place when you're in your prayer work and you're waiting. You're just waiting on God to make something happen. Have you guys experienced that? That waiting for something to happen? That's the part that's not revealed yet. And that's the part I want to make you clear about. If you really want to know, you spend that time in the silence. You enjoy the presence of God inside you. You let it teach you and what you need to know. And when you're standing inside something called Divine Synchronicity, you will see it come together in a way that's just unbelievable. Things happen in seconds. You hear, you do, you feel, you know. Because you're standing in that thing that we call the very divine synchronicity. And it's all love. And it's unlimited. So we deepen into that deeper understanding while we're waiting on the Lord. That's not a passive delay. It means that you are on the fast track to what you are going forwards to. Because when Jesus walked this planet, he tuned into his greatness that he knew was already alive within himself. And he would go off into the wilderness alone. And I started thinking, well, how did he know to be safe? The same way all of us know how to be safe. That greater presence is alive in all of our beings. And according to Charles Fillmore and those 12 powers, we have so many powers available to us. And I remember one time telling you guys we have over 205 senses in our bodies. 205. But in school you're only taught 5. So many powers are given to us too. Not just developed in the silence. We are born with them. I recently had a little nephew born, and their parents were showing his birth video, and he's there rolling his eyes. Little bitty baby, just decision that his rolling his eyes meant something about them. Nah, it meant something about the baby. It was just taking it in and was wondering, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I thought I was going to have my wings. Why am I stuck in this bed? Yeah, I can see the kind of thoughts that baby was having. Just like all of us when we were first born. Wondering what else was new and what else had to greet us. There's something deeper inside of us in each lesson. Because when we're standing in that waiting, there's something that's really important happening for us. You are becoming more of who you always meant to be. Not only do the answers show up, not only do you get what you need, not only are you to be who you are supposed to be, but you are working on something greater, something even more powerful. And it's sitting there waiting in the silence for every last one of us. So let the music of the divine sing through us, just like it does the cicadas. For you are walking back into who you always are and always will be. And as you carry this revelation with you, you will know what to do, you will know how to do it, and you will know that it is done well, because you're never doing any of it alone. And your unlimited nature will continue to reveal so much more of the divine in you. For we have learned to recognize we are home in the only place we've only knew and ever known our entire existence. That's our holy recognition. When we leave here today, live your best life going forward, because that's what the universe wants for each and every one of you. God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Davis. That was amazing. Thank you. It's now time for our tithes and love offerings. We give in gratitude so that all may be blessed. If you'll please repeat this abundance blessing with me. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, and in the upstairs in the main building, and that will be this Thursday at 6 p.m. All are welcome. We have an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. That's an open meeting, which means anyone who's interested can attend, family and friends of alcoholics as well. That is at 5 p.m. every Tuesday evening in the community room. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. on Zoom is our virtual Course in Miracles group, which is an amazing group if you're not familiar. All are welcome. It too is free, of course. You can see the newsletter to attend. The 25th of this month, which is a Saturday, we're going to have a first time ever, I believe, community music therapy event. And that is an experience of a mixture of meditation, music making, and discussion. And instruments will be provided. It is free to attend. All are welcome. You can also see the newsletter for more details. Something brand new here is Unity is starting a men's group. And that'll be exciting. The very first meeting will be Sunday, September 13th after service. And the idea of a men's group, obviously, is to bring people together, and the key functions are going to include spiritual development, fellowship, and service. So if you or anyone else you know is interested, you can contact Calvin Johnson. Would you like to say hello, Calvin?
Hello.
So thank you, Calvin. And also, of course, in the newsletter, there are more details about that. Okay, and there's more in the newsletter. But that's all I'm going to say for now up here. Immediately after this service, we have prayer chaplains that are available to pray with you right here in the sanctuary. Prayer is one-on-one and confidential, and it's about anything that you would like to pray about. We're happy to pray with you. So if you're not going to stay for prayer, we do ask that you step outside of the sanctuary to leave that confidential space for the prayer. Thank you. If you'd like to contribute electronically, you can do so in the lobby before you leave. Just scan the QR code. Also, we have a live stream every Sunday, and you can watch that on YouTube or Facebook. You can like us on Facebook too. We would appreciate that because we're trying to grow. Again, the newsletter. Everybody can sign up for that if you're not already. And we also have a women's ministry.